Good day everyone, my name is Macapa-ar and I am the first reporter in Group 5 which will be discussing about continuity of a function. So first of all, let us define what continuity of a function is. In this section, graphically, we consider a function to be continuous if we can connect points with a smooth curve. A phrase giving an image of a graph that is a nice continuous curve, or in other words, a curve with no breaks, gap, or holes in it. Indeed, a continuous function is often described as one whose graph can be drawn without lifting pencil from paper. So kapag sinabi natin continuity of a function or a continuous function, magbabase tayo sa graph na magagawa ng function na ibinigay sa atin. So, we can consider a function is continuous if their graph is also continuous, or kapag i-connect mo yung points ng mga values of x and y sa graph natin, magkakaroon siya ng smooth curve or continuous curve as stated here, nice continuous curve. So, sa madaling salita, habang i-draw mo yung graph ng function na yun, walang breaks, gap, or holes na makikita, or hindi mo man lang i-lift yung pencil mo from paper kasi continuous lang yung pag-draw mo nung points ng graph. So definition 1.60. The function f is said to be continuous at the number a if the following three conditions are satisfied. So una, f of a is defined, or should we say the value of x. Pangalawa, limit of function of f of x as x approaches a exists. So this is the function or the limit of the function. Third is limit of function f of x as x approaches a is equals to f of a, or equal yung value nung dalawa nating given data. When one of the continuity conditions fails to hold, we say that f is not continuous at x is equal to a, or f is discontinuous at x is equals to a. Graphically, there is a gap or break in the graph of the function f when it is discontinuous. So, from this definition, kapag merong hindi na-meet sa tatlong condition na to, this 1, 2, and 3, masasabi natin na discontinuous or hindi continuous yung graph na magagawa ng function natin. Meaning, there are points na mapuputol yung graph. So example 1.61. Determine if the given function f is continuous or discontinuous at x is equals to a. So first part is f of x is equals to 2x plus 5 at x is equals to negative 3. So makikita natin dito, we are given the value of x and we are given the function 2x plus 5. So solution. Note that f of negative 3 is equals to negative 1. Thus, f of 3 is defined. Here, paano natin to siya nakuha? So, if we substitute the value of negative 3 in this function, so negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, plus 5 is negative 1. So yun, nakuha natin yung answer ng f is to negative 3. So, f of negative 3 is defined, or which is sa first condition, this one, na-define natin yung f is to a. So, number 2, limit of function of x as x approaches to negative 3, which is this one, the value of x, is equals to limit of 2x plus 5 as x approaches negative 3. This one is mula sa given function na ibinigay sa atin, which is, given na siya. So, gaya lang ng ginawa natin kanina, substitute the value of x sa function here, so we get negative 1. Thus, limit of function of x as x approaches negative 3 exists. So dahil merong limit or merong value yung limit equation natin, then we meet the second condition, which is this one here. Then the third one is limit of function of f of x as x approaches negative 3 is equals to negative 1 here. And then yung value rin ng f of a natin, which is f is to negative 3, is also negative 1. So equal sila. Thus condition 3 holds. Ito, condition 3 is the value of the two conditions, which is number 1 and number 2, is equal. So makikita natin dito na equal yung value ni f of negative 3 and f of x, which is negative 1. So since the three conditions of continuity are satisfied, f of x is continuous at x is equals to negative 3.
On next example, f of x is equals to 1 plus x if x is less than or equal to 2, and 2 minus x if x is greater than 2 at x is equals to 2. So first is 1. Note that f of 2 is 1 plus 2 is equals to 3. Thus f of 2 is defined. So sa first na ito is substitute natin yung value ng x, which is 2 sa first equation, which is 1 plus x. So 1 plus 2 is equals to 3. Thus f of 2 is defined. And number 2, since the domain is cut as at x is equals to 2, we use one-sided limit. So makikita kasi natin sa linagay dito, if x is less than or equal to 2 and if x is greater than 2. So since cut na yung value ng x is into 2, kailangan natin gamitin yung one-sided limit, yung positive and negative infinity. I know the left side and the right side. So limit of function of x as x approaches 2 on the left here, which is the negative sign, is equals to limit of first equation 1 plus x as x approaches 2 to the left. So is equals to 1 plus 2 is equals to 3. Sa next equation naman, limit of the function of x as x approaches 2 at the right is equals to limit of the second equation 2 minus x as x approaches 2 to the right is equals to 2 minus 2 is equals to 0. Since limit of f of x as x approaches 2 to the left is not equal to limit of function of x to 2 to the right, by theorem 1.34, limit of f of x as x approaches 2 does not exist. Thus, f of x is discontinuous at x is equals to 2. So, since the one-sided limit theorem or theorem 1.34 is stated na kung hindi equal yung dalawang equation natin using the value of x, then yung limit ng function natin does not exist. So it also means that the function f of x is not continuous or discontinuous kasi hindi siya equal. Third one for example 1.61. Function g of x is equals to square root of x plus 1 minus 1 over x at x is equals to 0. So in this equation, makukuha na natin yung idea, which is nag-denominator siya ng x and the value of x is also 0. So we can say na undefined siya. So the function g of x is not continuous at x is equals to 0 since g of 0 is not defined at this point. Kasi kung i-substitute mo yung value ng 0 sa denominator, magiging undefined siya. Discontinuity is said to be an essential discontinuity if condition 2 fails to hold, that is, limit of function of f of x as x approaches a does not exist. Also, the discontinuity is said to be a removable discontinuity if condition or conditions 1 and or 3 fails to hold, that is, f of a is not defined or limit of f of x as x approaches a is not equal to f of a. In the immediately preceding examples, the discontinuity in example 2 is essential, whereas the discontinuity of example 3 is removable. So, as explanation, kung hindi na-meet yung condition number 2, tinatawag siyang essential discontinuity. Kung hindi naman nakuha yung condition 1 and 3, it is called removable discontinuity.